Hey guys, welcome back to another action figure review. Today we have another Hasbro Fortnite figure up for review, checking out Bushranger. On the front of the box we have some stylized artwork of the figure, a small plastic window letting us see the top half of the figure thanks to the new less plastic use boxes, and pictures of the accessories on the side. On the back of the box we have a 3D render of the figure, along with some small pictures of the accessories and a few warnings in different languages at the bottom. Opening up the box from the bottom makes it easier to remove the tightly packed cardboard insert. The accessories are wrapped in the wax paper and are loose in the box. Afterwards, you can take the box apart and cut the plastic ties on the back to remove the figure from the box. Bushranger was first released in Chapter 2 Season 1 of Fortnite in 2019, part of a community choice event where fans could vote on what skin would be added into the game. While not a major character in the game's story, Bushranger does make a lot of appearances in the multiple storylines, including working for Midas, adopting an alien baby, dying and resurrecting, and appearing in the seasonal trailers multiple times. Bushranger has multiple variant colors in-game, a winter, autumn, summer, and a dream version from his interaction with the reality tree in Chapter 3 Season 3. Not even Bushranger himself knows how he ended up on the Fortnite island, or why he's the only sentient tree in the game, but until he can find his way back, he's happy to help anyone who asks him. Let's check out the details. We have a large hedgehog-looking face for Bushranger, surrounded by leaves and branches, with a white and brown birch tree bark colored skin. Small black dotted eyes, a button-style nose, and a small smile details the face. Each leaf is sculpted in its own details, and the further they are from the face, the more they fade into that green color. On the back we have a larger bush of leaves draping down the head in a healthy green color layering over each other leaf. A small brown leather sash rests on top of the bushy chest with 3 orange acorn themed grenades attached to it. More leaves are layered over each other, colored in a gradient from a light green to a darker green towards the center. The brown leather sash wraps all the way around to the back, with a small socket at the center that will be covered up later in the review with an accessory. Just like the front, the leaves fade from a lighter green to a darker green towards the center. On the shoulder we have a small opening in the leaves where the tree-like arms stick out of. In that white and brown birch style bark we have a few brown spots and small branches detailing the arms. More of that birch bark covers the arms with small dents and scratches into the tree-like arms, with the hands in a dark wooden color in a trigger finger pose. A skirt of leaves covers the waist and the thighs of the figure, repeating that fade from a light green to a dark green like the chest had. The leaves get a bit larger and longer towards the bottom of the bush. On the back we have almost identical details with the fading green color and leaves layered over each other. And even though it's covered by all the leaves, the waist of the figure still has a leafy bush effect underneath. The wooden thighs look like 2 branches sticking out of the bushy body, with more brown and white birch details, with small branch stubs for the knees. As we get lower onto the legs, the branch-style legs start to twist and bend like a real branch would, detailed with more brown and white bark color. And we wrap up the detail with the feet of the figure. Large 3-toed roots in the same color of the hands and darker parts of the tree bark. Let's check out the articulation. Thanks to the large bush around the head, we have limited articulation with only rotation really being usable. While we do have a butterfly joint at the shoulder, it's extremely limited by the bushiness of the chest sculpt. The arms can open, but rotation might be hindered by the sculpting when trying to point the arms straight up. Rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbows with a very tight range. Wrists that rotate and bend up and down. We do have articulation at the chest, but once again the bushy sculpt will hinder all but the rotation. It's the same issue with the waist. It's completely covered by the bush, but it can be rotated. The legs would have had full range as well, but it's blocked by the skirt of leaves. We do have rotation on the thighs, double jointed knees with a tight range, legs that rotate, and feet that bend up and down and twist. Hasbro runs the Fortnite toy line at the 6-inch scale, and Bushranger stands just a bit taller than the average Fortnite character. Compared to these two standard size figures, we can see Bushranger has a bit of a height above the head. Next to the tallest figure, Meowscles, Bushranger still doesn't reach the same height, but is just a bit shorter. Next to other Hasbro style 6-inch figures, we can see that Bushranger is a good deal taller than the rest of them. Next to McFarlane's 7-inch figures, Bushranger just ends up looking short rather than out of place. I wanted to compare Bushranger to some other tree-like fantasy figures by Mythic Legions. We can see they have similar height, but Bushranger just looks too cartoony for Mythic Legions. We have the Buzzy Bag backpack, a beehive with a bit of honey spilling out, and the peg on the back. Installing the backpack is easy, simply pegging in the beehive into the socket on the back. It's not top heavy for this figure. We get Bushranger's melee weapons, the honey hitters, 2 swords covered in golden honey. And we get the infantry rifle, impressively sculpted with a wood grain texture. Another unique Fortnite design by Hasbro Toys, a living tree with a cute hedgehog face and honey themed accessories. Bushranger is a very lively and cartoonish character, something that we would expect from the Fortnite series with its cartoony look in the game. The sculpting is filled with a lot of leaf details, and every leaf having small creases and bends, and the shifting of colors looks great. Hasbro has kept the likeness to the game very accurate, coming with the matching weapons and backpacks, but also in the sculpting, even the ultra fine details like the scratches on the body and face matching the in-game look. While the sculpting on the figure is very impressive, the overall design limits the articulation extremely, with only the limbs having any real range. And while the leaves covering the head and body are made of a soft plastic, there's just so much of it covering the body that even stretching it out won't give you any additional range. Thanks to the thin arms, we can get him into the traditional aiming pose with the rifle, but you won't get any superhero poses out of him. Hasbro, paying attention to detail, gave us all the correct accessories with the honey-covered swords and backpack detailed very well, especially the infantry rifle that even has a wood grain texture detailed into the sculpt. Overall, Bushranger is a great looking figure, flawed by its design and transformation into an action figure. It's a unique cartoon Pixar movie style look that makes it a fun and cute looking figure that matches what we would expect out of Fortnite. Bushranger makes a great fantasy figure as a tree elemental or some sort of forest spirit, but that might be too colorful and cutesy for some collectors. It's definitely a unique figure. It's a wonder if Hasbro will release the alternate seasonal colors of Bushranger, as it looks like a lot of work was spent making this sculpt work as an action figure, only to get a small amount of articulation out of this unique sculpt. I would assume recolors would recoup some of the costs of this unique design. Bushranger is a unique figure, definitely for the hardcore Fortnite fans, or the fantasy collector who wants more tree figures that are pretty rare these days. Alright guys, that's it for this review. Leave a comment letting me know how you like this figure, subscribe, or share this video with your friends to help out the channel.